today's video, I'm going to be giving you the top 5 most overpowered guns in Modern Warfare 3 after the update. All 5 of these class setups should help you in dropping high kill gameplays and nukes. Before we get into the class setups, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and click that thumbs up button so you don't miss out on my future videos. With all that being said, let's get into these class setups. Now we're going to be starting off with the BP50. I was literally getting attacked in my comment section for my last top 5 because I didn't include this weapon, and I kind of understand. So starting off, we have the 45 round magazine, so we can take out multiple enemies without having to reload. I think the biggest issue with this weapon is the magazine size. I wish it was a little bit more because it does have a high fire rate compared to other ARs in the game. Next, we have an underbarrel, and I went ahead and I threw on the TcTekk MSP 98 hand stop. I love this a lot because the strafe speed on this weapon is incredible. So I kind of want to take what makes this thing great and make it even greater. So with this, you get aim walking speed, which is great. And on top of that, sprinkles in a little bit of vertical recoil control and gun kick control, so it'll help you land a lot more of your shots. And then we also get to increase the movement speed so we can be more aggressive, get around the map a little bit more smoothly and quickly. For our third attachment, I went ahead and I threw on the Lore 9 heavy barrel, and we get an increase in bullet velocity and range, which allows our BP50 to kill much more quickly at those longer range engagements. And on top of that, once again, more gun kick control, recoil control, all that type of good stuff, making the weapon more accurate, less bouncy and whatnot. For my fourth attachment, I threw on the 4-breaker heavy stock. And at this point, if there's any bounce or whatever it may be, you just can't land your shots, this should pretty much guarantee it to literally not move whatsoever. And to go one step further, my fifth and final attachment is the Trust IV grip tape. Once again, more recoil control, all that type of good stuff. If I quickly bring this thing to the firing range, Lord, I mean, the thing literally doesn't move, and it has great movement. And also, not to mention the aim, look at this aim walking speed on this AR. This is what makes it just so overpowered. It's not many ARs can replicate this. Next, we have the Ram 9. Once again, people in the comments of my last top 5 were like, hello, Ram 9 BP50. We took care of the BP50. Now let's do the Ram 9, which is my personal favorite SMG in the entire game right now. So starting off with the 50 round magazine, once again, just so you can take out a lot more enemies without having to reload and whatnot. For my underbarrel, I threw on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop. I get sprint to fire speed, so the weapon comes up quicker after sprinting, and I get an increase in aim down sight speed. So it's just overall a lot more quick and snappy, and you're ready for any given situation. And what's also nice about this is you get that on top of some better recoil control vertically, and then also gun kick control, which is nice. For my muzzle, I had the Zen MN compensated flash hider muzzle. It's literally the go-to muzzle that everybody's been using on anything they use in the game. It shortens radar pings, so you're on enemy radars less time than normal, which is huge. And plus, we also get a massive increase in recoil control. This is what really brings the whole Ram 9 together. It has a high fire rate, so this makes it very, very controllable. For the fourth attachment, I went ahead and I threw on the HVS 3.4 pad stock, where you get a huge increase in your accuracy. When it comes to medium range gunfights, the thing genuinely doesn't move. You win so many medium range gunfights with this because of how accurate it becomes when you put it on. And then my final attachment here is the Retort 90 grip tape, where you get firing, aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. My build's a little goofy and weird, but this is all I've been using in both multiplayer and in Warzone especially. So, again, these medium range gunfights, the thing doesn't move. Right here, it's tough to fight right here at this medium range, but this build specifically, you get good movement out of it, aim walking speed, and it's a laser. Again, my favorite SMG in the entire game right now. Now, this video would be an absolute lie if I didn't include the MCW, which is probably the most overpowered gun in the entire game right now. So my first attachment here is the DR6 hand stop. Huge increase in your mobility. I mean, it has the range of an AR, the power of an AR, but the mobility of an SMG, which makes it just that much better. So you get aim walking speed, ADS speed, sprint to fire, movement. So overall, you're just a lot more quick, lighter on your feet, which is great. For my muzzle, I have the L4R flash hider, which gives us muzzle flash concealment, so there's not flashes on your screen when you're firing the weapon, which is great. We also get a pretty significant increase in recoil control and gun kick control, which makes it an absolute laser beam. For the barrel, we have the best barrel for the weapon, the 16.5-inch MCW Cyclone barrel. We get bullet velocity and range, which allows our MCW to kill much more quickly at longer range engagements. And on top of that, more aiming, idle sway, firing, aiming stability, and whatnot. And then right here, it gets a little goofy. So we're gonna throw on our optic, which you can put whatever optic you want. I think the Mark III reflector is the best on it. And then you could either do the RB Cloth PSL grip, which is great for ranked play and multiplayer. But since there's a lot more enemies than just regular multiplayer, you might want to do a magazine, which you could do the 40 or the 60. I'd probably recommend the 40 so it doesn't slow the weapon down too much. And you could bring this to the firing range, and it's essentially the same thing as the Pro build, -1 attachment. And the thing still doesn't move, and on top of that, you get an increase in your magazine, which honestly makes it a huge W. And yeah, the recoil control and whatnot is still pretty much the exact same after taking that attachment off. Probably the most overpowered weapon in the game. I don't know. What do you guys think? For our fourth weapon, we have the Striker, which it's the first SMG. The thing just doesn't have any recoil. It's very easy to use, and it's just been dominant since day one. So we have the 48 round magazine to start things off. 60's OD, I really thought you always needed it, but you could really get away with 48, and this saves you quite a bit of mobility, which is nice. Next, I went ahead and I threw on the Zen MN compensated flash hider muzzle. Once again, shortens those radar pings, so on enemy radar, less time, and a massive increase in your accuracy and recoil control, helping you land so many more shots. For my ammunition, I have on the auto high grain rounds, where you get an increase in bullet velocity and damage range, which just makes this thing even stronger. And there's no enemy skulls, so you're kind of more on the stealthy side. One, you have the muzzle on where you're on enemy radar, less time, and when you take out an enemy, their skull doesn't show up for their teammates. So it's very odd, but it's really, really nice how dominant this is and stealthy you could be at the same time. For my barrel, I have on the Striker Recon long barrel. You get an increase in bullet velocity range. Again, just making the Striker even more powerful. And then my final attachment is a little bit of an oddball stock here, and that is the Lockman Nemesis stock, where you get aim down sight speed. I feel like it really needed it. It makes the weapon a lot more quick and snappy, which I genuinely love. And yeah, very straightforward build. We could take this to the firing range very quickly. Again, the thing doesn't really move at all. And even right here, where this isn't even an SMG range, you could get away with being that accurate. I was barely even trying. So again, yeah, one of the top SMGs in the entire game, without a doubt. And then our fifth and final weapon might just be the most annoying one. That is the PULEMYOT 762. So for the first attachment, you're gonna wanna do the aftermarket kit, the Jack Annihilator Bullet Kit. You get I mean, this doesn't even feel like an LMG anymore, because you get such a huge increase in your mobility, fat increase in the fire rate, which usually leads to a faster time to kill. And they also give you a significant increase in your aim down sight speed. So once again, it doesn't feel super sluggish and slow like an LMG. It feels more like an AR, which is nice. And then I threw on an optic. The iron sights aren't bad, but they're not the best in the world. And I love myself the Mark III reflector. For the barrel, we have the Jack Annihilator long barrel, where you can only throw this on if you have the kit on. So this is a aftermarket kit attachment as well with the barrel, increasing the bullet velocity and range, making the weapon more dominant, kill much more quickly. I have obviously the Zen MN 35 compensated flash hider muzzle as my muzzle attachment, where it just makes it a beamer once again. And then my final attachment is an underbarrel, and I did the Bruin Heavy support grip. So it's a very straightforward build. There's not much for me to explain here. You can kind of let this do its thing in the firing range, where yeah, this is probably the most overpowered gun in the entire game. I take back what I said about that MCW. You know what? Screw it. We have an honorary mention, the MTZ 762. It just didn't feel right leaving this thing out, because it is just that damn good. So starting off, the 30 round magazine, it's the largest magazine you get. You got to make every single shot count. So from here on out, the rest of the attachments are going to increase their accuracy and recoil control. So the 30 round mag, it doesn't feel so much like a 30 round magazine. So with that being said, our rear grip is the MTZ factory rear grip. Huge boost in our recoil control, which we're gonna need. For my underbarrel, I have the Bruin Heavy support grip. Once again, more accuracy and recoil control. The muzzle, you don't even gotta guess. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on. The Zen MN compensated flash hider muzzle. And then my barrel, the MTZ Precision Blackthorn barrel. Huge increase in bullet velocity and range. This is what really allows it to kill so goddamn quick at longer range engagements. That's it. Very straightforward build. I just want to take this to the firing range to show you how good it is. So again, 30 round magazine, no worries, because we could take out all 3 targets with half the magazine. Yeah, it is that good. Again, it just didn't feel right leaving this thing out. And then no matter what 6 of these weapons that you use I gave you today, the rest of my multiplayer loadout stays the exact same. I have the TcTekk, which is super useful. Every time you kill an enemy, they drop a scavenger pack, and it gives you a pretty significant ping on the radar, like a UAV. So that is very nice to figure out where enemies are. We have my pistol setup, which you guys could see all 5 attachments on screen. Very handy. I have the ammunition box, and then my perks are scavenger gloves, lightweight boots, EOD padding, and mag holster. Again, no matter what I'm using, all of this stays the same. I never ever change it. Let me know what weapons you think I missed out on, and I'll see you on the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.